Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. You are watching the Rapture Gaming League and we are watching Rattlesnakes versus Awake. We're gonna see one game between these two teams so far. Both teams have played 8 games, won 4, lost 4, so 50-50 for both teams. So one of these two teams is gonna get ahead of the other one. Which one will it be? We'll find out soon. Of course, with me is Vickermont. Welcome to the broadcast.
Good to be here, Shiver. I'm pretty excited to see this game. I am very interested in both of the Chinese teams that we're seeing today, just because they obviously have had a little bit of roster tumult, so we sort of see how it shakes out. I know Rising Stars has a couple of additions. Rattlesnake had to make a couple of changes. Lanham went to DK. Here we actually see them, I guess, with two people from the Southeast Asian scene. Johnny we're a little more familiar with. He was on the rendition of Chain Stack that actually made a couple runs at some tournaments early this year. Hold that thought. Elder Titan first pick.
Yeah. I have to say, Elder Titan, the first time that I saw him was actually in the Rapture Gaming League, so it was Asian Dota. But we have seen him some more, I believe, yesterday in a solo mid-roll, and I've seen him so far only on solo mid-rolls. I'm kind of curious to see if Rattlesnake wants to play him the same way.
The thing is, in Dota 1, I can't really remember which roles he was played as, but I do know in the waning days of the Dota 1 pro scene, he was very, well, before a lot of people shifted their focus over to Dota 2, he was, in the Chinese scene, very, very highly regarded, like, pretty much in this sort of first pick status, so maybe Rattlesnake are using that logic to transfer him over. I haven't been really watching, like, I used to watch a lot of the CDC, like the in-houses and stuff, but I haven't over the last couple of weeks, so I don't know if that's been true since he's been patched in. But he's a hero that, like all of the new heroes added to Captain's Mode, has a lot going for him. Does a ton of damage. He is a little bit level dependent to deal his damage, which is why you sort of see him in solo lane sometimes. But he also, of course, brings great disable, a very powerful ultimate, particularly against strength carries who are just ruling the scene right now.
Yeah, and of course combines up very nice with the Dark Seer. So the team fight combination for Rattlesnake is pretty strong so far. Of course, Puck is, if this is indeed a mid lane Elder Titan, Puck is a good one against him. He should be able to at least have a decent lane, can phase shift some of the damage, even though it's pretty tough to actually phase shift the...
It's almost impossible, actually.
I mean, yeah, if it keeps hold on location, I mean, you're gonna be sitting in it the moment you come out of your phase shift.
Yeah.
But later on in the game, it's kind of great to make sure that they can, like, Puck can silence Dark Seer Elder Titan if he gets in first.
Yeah, the silence is definitely very powerful against really Elder Titan, and Darkseer Gyrocopter really doesn't care that much, and he's going to be rushing BKB anyway. So the Rattlesnake, I think they have a pretty powerful lineup. I do think Elder Titan's going to be probably just fine against Puck. You have the typical disadvantage of being a melee going up against a ranged without the benefit of something like Dragon Blood to just keep you regenning. But Bottle Crow is going to smooth over a lot of that issue, and unless Puck is very, very aggressive, he probably can't make a credible threat to kill ET, and Elder Titan's going to be just fine last setting and stuff.
I think so too. We have Lifestealer still indeed been out, Juggernaut, OD, and Jakiro removed from the pool. I like the support combination with the Visage Stand King. We see that quite a lot, actually. Especially in the Asian scene, I believe. Otherwise, normally it's Nyx Assassin, yeah. So you've got yourself a slow, which can set up for the Burrow Strike, of course, from Sand King, who kind of needs to get very close in range at the start of the game, especially. But it is definitely a very strong combination. I love seeing those two roam around. I also love seeing Earthshaker, though, and I mean, oh my god, the team fight potential on Rattlesnake just keeps increasing with every hero they pick up.
That's certainly true. They've got, now that they have Darkseer, Earthshaker, and Elder Titan, who's basically Earthshaker 2.0, Vacuum can basically just completely ruin Awake. Not that Awake has nothing as far as teamfight potential. They added the Sand King to attempt to equalize the numbers a little bit. But if they all get caught out in something like the Earth Splitter, Echo Slam, Fissure combo, they barely need Gyrocopter to kill them. Luo can just maybe throw out one Flat Cannon and Reaper and Ultra Kill.
Yep. I think, I mean, if they get that off, there's no way Awake is going to be able to stay alive through that, unless maybe Puck is able to dodge some of the damage. Again, Puck is going to have such an important role here, and oh my god, team fight galore! Hello, Ancient Apparition!
Yeah, this is some pretty new meta wombo combo,
oh
honestly.
My god, I'm really hoping that they can get it off. I mean, That would be pretty sad. Even if only once this game, that would be enough for me to be happy for this game.
I agree. I'm happy already just from the draft. It's very non-traditional, of course. Rattlesnake, kind of known as a team that's very willing to draft non-traditional compositions, especially among Chinese teams. They were sort of Quantic East during the pre-TI3 off-season. So I like this lineup. I do foresee some issues with laning. Elder Titan is you can run him as a support, and he's a reasonable lane support. You can run AA as a lane support, and I mean ES obviously is traditionally played as a support, but none of them are tremendously strong in lane. Earthshaker has good reach. Ancient Apparition has a good stun if you can set it up effectively. But Sand King, Visage, Anti-Mage, probably not contestable. I think they're just going to safe and try to pull jungle and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Awake, they have an Anti-Mage picked up, so, you know, they want to make it fairly late. They want to have him safe farm. At first it looked like they were drafting to still get themselves some team fight to answer it, but I think they just gave up on that.
Well, they have some good team fight, honestly, and Anti-Mage, he's not the worst in a team fight either once he gets a little tanky. Mana Void can be a big deal if hit on, for instance, Darkseer or Ancient App or something. And the thing about the Anti-Mage is they saw as soon as Rattlesnake filled their lineup out that they essentially had no chance of running an effective aggressive tri-lane, right? I mean, they could, but it would be very, very, very iffy. So that's when Awake are like, hey, we have space to run a late game carry. We don't have to sort of go for a mid-gamey teamfight type carry. So that opened them up to pick the Anti-Mage. This is a pretty typical Southeast Asia lineup. I mean, no real surprises here. Sand King is very beloved of a lot of Southeast Asian teams, and he's a hero that also, as long as he gets levels, is going to do really well. But he seems to be hitting top, so maybe it's just to plant wards.
It could be for sure. Of course, I mean, before the Elder Titan got picked up, you were telling something about Rattlesnake's lineup. Basically, the conclusion is that Johnny, formerly from Chainstack, is actually moving to China to join Rattlesnake in their home base. So that's really kind of cool.
That is cool, especially because they're an independent team, so I don't know how big of a budget they have compared to organizations like DK, IG.
Yeah. And Rabbit, who, by the way, also has an avatar with a rabbit, which I find it kind of funny. But Rabbit is playing on their Smurf account. His Dota profile has got only 7 hours of Dota played. I mean, you can't. His previous nicknames, you can't see anything of this. I am actually thinking they already have got a player.
Yeah,
but they just having him, under contract or something, contract not sorted out or something like that. With previous organization. Oops.
I think he's a Southeast Asian player, but it's kind of tough to say because we know nothing about him other than the fact that his profile is called Bunny Juice.
Yeah, and his profile is from Singapore.
Yeah.
But, you know, is that for... Yeah, you can't really see if that's for real or not. Or maybe it's someone who just came to Dota and would be new. I don't know. That would be unlikely, but...
No, it's just 8 hours of Dota, and he randomly stumbled across Rattlesnake.
Yeah. Hey, you need to stand in? No, I can play. It's fine. I played some League of Legends before.
Yeah. Nah, I played Smite, the superior MOBA experience. I'm thinking about this more. Actually, I feel like Awake has a lot of potential running a Windrunner tri-lane in the top and just Anti-Mage solo safe. Anti-Mage versus Darkseer is not the most fun match you'll ever have, but it looks like they're going to pool him gold, and that'll make up a little bit of the difference there, and you should be fine. The Darkseer can't really kill the AM unless the AM makes a mistake. It's just the AM needs that extra jolt of regen provided by pooling, or he actually has a lot of trouble not getting in the danger zone as far as health.
Yeah, for people inside the game client, well, if my microphone is not working, then you can't hear me now. But I see my bubble moving around. I see my bar moving around with the microphone. I toggled it off and on. Let me know if you can hear me. And I guess if you can't hear me, then you didn't hear this message. So then that's, you know.
So what do you want people to do? Just do the broadcaster switch thing?
If they can't hear me now, they have to broadcaster switch.
Alright, so if you can't hear Shiva in the in-game Dota TV, please feel free to change the broadcaster, then change it back. Should fix any sort of open mic related issues, because Dota TV is still a little bit wonky. I am happy to report it seems like our Skype connection is finally working. I can actually hear you consistently, which is great.
Awesome. And you know what could help with that? Actually, I can't tell that over the stream. Well, I will type it out afterwards.
I bet I know.
Because that's awesome. Anyways, I see a yay, so I guess my voice is fixed. Awesomeness is awesomeness. So we have a pause.
Are you not on delay today?
Are
we not on delay?
We have. They were just
okay.
still complaining, and I fixed it 2 minutes ago. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did it 15 minutes ago. Right.
2 minutes ago.
Yeah, so I think it's probably aggressive try with the Weaver, and then AM's a little safe. I think that's a really again, they opened up the AM pick when they saw Rattlesnake, mostly a post laning lineup. I mean, Earthshaker plus AA. If the ES gets an extremely well placed Fissure, which is easier now because Fissure range got buffed, or rather, sorry, the Fissure length got buffed. You can get people in spaces where Cold Feet is almost guaranteed to proc. And that is a kill, unquestionably. Gyrocopter is very able to follow that up by just killing people.
But it will be a safe tri lane, right? You assume?
Yeah, they're going to run safe tri lane. Awake is going to run 3v3 against them. And it's a pretty scary 3v3. If you land like a Shackle or Grave Chill or something, that's probably Burrow Strike, and then you can kill.
Yeah. We're still waiting for the Earthshaker to come back. That's why the pause is here. Of course.
Who's playing Sag?
I believe so. Yes,
Yeah.
Sag. It's one of my signature heroes, actually, or at least it used to be a while back when I
like him on
just
Doom.
started casting. I like Earthshaker also back in the scene. I don't think he's getting enough playtime.
Really?
Really. Earthshaker, I don't know. Either he's boring and disengages stuff because he throws on a Fissure and nobody can move anymore.
He's just a little item dependent, I feel. Are you... There can only be one. We get a reconnect and an instantaneous disconnect.
Toy.
Yeah.
Toy. Hey, let's introduce players while we're here.
Yeah, we might as well.
Do that. Awake, of course, they are on the Radiant side for this game. We have got FTG. He's going to be playing the puck. Toy will be on the anti-mage F or AFF. Will play the Visage. And the Dutch name is this actually... I really am curious to see if he knows, or if he actually intended this to be a Dutch name. I think so. And if it's actually his nickname.
Player.
It's a football player. The Dutch name, you would pronounce it as Bergkamp, but otherwise Bergkamp. Probably better. Bergkamp.
Bergkamp. Alright.
Good luck with that.
Du bist. I can do it.
Yeah.
Say it again one more time for me.
Bergkamp.
Bergkamp.
Almost.
Alright, well, I consider that close enough.
Yeah. And of course, the last one is a Sand King that we already saw moving up towards the top lane, and it's YO2.
Yeah, so that'll be Windrunner, so Bergkamp, and AF and Yo2 on the top, probably, which is Toy, Solo Safe, Anti-Mage.
I hope so.
I think probably. It's a Visage. If you're going to run Visage, you want that 3v3 matchup. If you can get it. We've actually seen a bit of a rapprochement away from aggressive tri-lanes lately. Most teams, it seems, these days prefer to run the safe try and just safe try on both sides. Which is not tremendously fun for spectators, but it's okay. Luckily, the laning phase ends pretty early as well, usually. For Rattlesnake, we're going to have Johnny, this new addition, one of the players of Chain Stack. He's going to be going up into the middle on Elder Titan. You can see him saving for his bottle quite aggressively, even more aggressively than we see usually. He clearly doesn't fear the harassment of the puck because he's not bringing a salve to this lane. So that leaves Icy, their Rattlesnake's offlane player at TI3, to be the Darkseer in the bot. And then the tri-lane will be composed of Rabbit, so we don't know who this guy is. It's a Smurf account.
He's
on Ancient Apparition.
I actually
Do we know?
got told that... No, we don't know, but it might also be from Chain Stack.
Oh, you might be a second Chain Stack player.
Yeah.
Alright. Maybe it's Chains. And then Luo on the Gyrocopter, one of the heroes that he performed pretty well with at TI3. And then Sagam will fill out the team as Earthshaker.
Look at the pigs going on. They saw him placing that ward, I believe.
The battle
Maybe they did not, but they know that there's something going on there. They do have sentries.
illusion.
And I think that we're going to see O2 placing one. Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
It does have to use the Visage to counter because the Sand King doesn't have that Quelling Blade, so he's not able to do anything to the ward. But AF, of course, is. And Rattlesnake were a pretty cool team at TI3. I had high hopes for them. They did end up losing to Dignitas in the losers bracket of the playoffs, but it was a really good game. I actually thought Rattlesnake had it in hand, and then Dignitas made some pretty good plays.
And of course, well, doing better than a couple of others, perhaps.
Oh
in
yeah,
the group
I think
stages.
they did. Certainly, and I mean, they were not favored to win the wild card. In fact, they were overwhelmingly disfavored, and yet they won the wild card very convincingly.
Yeah, I fully agree. I actually at that point was slightly disappointed with Quantic, as we have Luo already slowed down. I'm kind of curious to see how this tri lane will work out, because there's so many saves from Rattlesnake's side. I mean, one Fisher. I mean, you already talked about the killing potential from a Fisher and Cold Feet, but also just the stopping of the chain of initiation is there, and it could totally, indeed, stop someone from initiating and then still catch someone out. So I'm really kind of, well, anticipating some nice action coming here on the top lane.
Yeah, I think it's very possible. Certainly, Awake will be fairly desperate to score some kills here, and they're a team that's extremely capable of getting them with the compositions that they've chosen. This Windrunner-based tri-lane is something that's also pretty common. Southeast Asian teams favor it a lot more than other teams do, although we've seen teams like Navi run it. But yeah, you can see the fissure placement is going to be very important in this lane. The positioning of the Sand King is also very important because it's extremely difficult to land that Burrow Strike at level 1. So it's an exciting lane in some respects. The other lane, of course, I really want to watch is mid. I didn't get a chance to watch too much Chain Stack, although I've seen a few of their games, like in the G1 qualifiers a couple seasons ago. So I am interested to see how Johnny performs here. So far, he's doing just fine. Puck has more denies, but he's still, as I more or less expected, last hitting okay. And he's just going to be constantly crowing to actually get the regen. He can't make a play for runes, is the only thing. FTG will have pretty much complete control over those.
Yeah, and he'll get a double damage rune as well. I mean, Johnny does get harassed quite a bit. He's already got an empty bottle and, I mean, already down to half HP.
Yeah, DD's not fun.
And DD indeed will be extra troublesome. Another Fisher coming out here on the top lane, trying to stop Awake from making a play. And I mean, considering this is an aggressive tri lane, so the lane, especially Awake's lane, will not be getting that much experience. Drop the barrage, in comes another Fisher. That's gonna be first blood. Sand King, you're on the wrong end of the stick, or not. No sentries. Lua will live. Cold Feet up on Visage. Sand King showing his face, eats a tree to get himself away. Still the stun up from the Visage. But no Fisher coming in for another 1 second. And now Sagam has one again, but.
Well, that was it doesn't really. Okay, it matters that Sand King didn't die, but that's actually a big win for Rattlesnake, simply because that was probably all of the remaining regen. Yeah, so they've got just a set of tangos left on Bergkamp, and they have nothing else.
And no
so
mana.
They used 2 salves in that fight, and a lot of mana. So that's a very, very major win for Rattlesnake in this lane. It's definitely going to tilt it in their favor. Also, in the bottom, you can see that because of the pooling that was given to Toy earlier, which let him start with Poor Man's Shield and regen, he's last hitting very well. So he's 17 for 2. Not the greatest score of all time, but sometimes against Darkseer, Anti-Mage just really struggles when he doesn't get that pool. So this is a very respectable performance when combined with the fact that FTG is also having a great time mid because of DD Rune being pretty good.
Yeah, for Rattlesnake, of course, there's still... What?
Rabbit didn't manage to deny or take the regen rune, so FTG gets another rune.
The regen of all runes that you can get. Very good to just throw it some extra harassment, knowing that you can get back up to full mana in no time.
Exactly. So that's going to be a mid lane. It's kind of unlucky, frankly, for Johnny. It's never fun to be melee against a hero like a Puck, and when they get DD and then regen instead of like Invis at 2 and Illusion at 4. Not that Illusion's bad; it's quite good, but
it's still, yeah.
It's a different story when you get DD. The worst thing would be 2 DDs, but still.
And the difference is not that big still on last hits. I mean, just 3-4 difference. We have got 18 for 3 up on Johnny. We've still got 23 for 11 up on Puck. He's still doing better on the denies, as said. So, you know, that's there. But all things considered, I think Johnny is still doing fairly okay.
Yep. Elder Titan's very legit just because his damage is so good. Grave Chill, but it's not going to do much of anything. In fact, I don't know why he threw out the Assumption. I feel like that's a lot of mana.
Yeah, because he only has mana for either 1 Soul Assumption or a slow right now. Unless they want to wait again for a long period of time. And I mean, the longer that this lane doesn't get anything extra for Awake. I mean, they're still having an anti-mage free farming, so in a way they don't need to win the lane that convincingly. But they're not really stopping Luo from farming all that much. I mean, he's still got 18 for 0, he's still got 18 last hit, so still getting something out of this lane. And of course, his supports are getting more than the supports of Awake as well.
Yeah, I think overall Rattlesnake definitely have to be happy with the tri-lane, and they are probably okay with mid. Anti-Mage, of course, is free farming, so when he moves towards Battle Fury, they're going to feel a little bit of pressure to start pushing. Nice thing is, nobody wants to face this team 5-on-5, this composition, because the likelihood of all of your players just kind of not being there anymore is pretty high.
Yeah, Invisorin picked up by Earthshaker, and he's actually moving...
Because he knows Puck will come to check it.
Yeah, let's see. Can they make a play here? I'm not actually sure.
Probably not. Because Puck can jump over the fissure. It's the issue with trying to kill him with Earthshaker in this lane. Maybe if they land the sleep into fissure into Earth Splitter.
Perhaps that could be worked around, but I think the phase shift will be on there first. Maybe not.
It's really tough, exactly. I mean, the thing is, if he lands the fissure right out of Invis, and then into sleep, then into splitter, but you could just see it was too iffy to bother wasting all the mana on. Earthshaker is such an incredibly mana-dependent hero early on. Well, really, not even early on, all the way through. It's one of the issues with the hero.
Yeah, and he now also has got no clarities or regen of his own anymore, so he has to be careful with his mana that he uses. Also, no more regen up on Rabbit. Luo sitting on stick charges, but that's it. I mean, this lane is almost completely void on regen. What am I saying? Almost for it. This lane is completely void of regens. Also, Windrunner doesn't have any anymore.
I do think that in general this game is tilting a little bit of Awake's way just because they have favorable lane matchups. That said, Rattlesnake, they always knew that, right? They picked a lineup that's not laning focused, so they won't be surprised to be at a disadvantage coming out of the lane phase. The question for them is going to be, you know, can they just get the levels to make sure that they can do their team fighting when they need to? I mean, the leveling is fine for this tri-lane because leveling in an aggressive tri is extremely hard when you're not getting kills. The main thing is just that we're talking about a level 8 anti-mage on one hand and level 5 gyro on the other.
Yeah, that's a big difference for sure. Luckily for the gyro, the anti-mage will probably not try to be involved in fights. Wait a second, talking about involving in fights. We've got a stomp coming off as well. We have got Visage getting stunned up. TP incoming from the Puck. No one didn't need to be there. In comes a stomp still. Dream Coil up on Johnny. Tries to run. Gets Burrows right. And that's going to be your first blood picked up by FTG. Rocket Barrage, that's gonna be a Visage down. Luo tries to go toe-to-toe with Puck, but level difference is definitely there. In comes a Shackle, nice one! And that might be awarding 2 more kills. Puck jumping forward, Rabbit tries to do what he can, but Earthshaker will go down. Double kill for the Puck. Burrow Strike up on 2. In comes the Windrunner, right-clicking Luo to death, and it's successful as well. And that's gonna be Rabbit, one of the last ones alive here on the side of Rattlesnake, and he's trying to make a run for it. Gets chased down by a Sand King that still has a Burrow Strike, but they're not gonna continue chasing that. No boots is of course not really a way that you want to try and chase things with. It just goes way too slow.
Yep, and that was the first big fight.
Yeah.
Definitely tilts pretty majorly in Awake's favor. Losing Elder Titan so early and him being really unable to get anything done was quite unfortunate. Didn't use the ultimate, pretty much completely whiffed the Echo Stomp. The Spirit Echo Stomp didn't hit anything. The player Echo Stomp hit a creep. So it's not a good way to start, definitely. Not fatal, actually. Luo did manage to get 2 kills before he died, at least. So the gyro a little bit out of it. Finally hit 6. I actually think if they have 6 like a little bit earlier for Ancient Apparition and gyro, that could have definitely tilted their way. So the timing of Elder Titan to come in and start the fight was actually fairly poor, unfortunately.
Okay, I'm just checking. Apparently there are issues with Dota TV, but I think that's actually due to a thing that well, a viewer just said on the Twitch chat. These are the Perfect World servers, right?
Well, no, I actually don't know. So probably not would be my guess, but no, this is Valve. It's not Perfect World.
Okay, because then that is at least cleared out. By the way, the Gyrocopter killed off the Puck only after Gyrocopter died himself, so he didn't get the experience from that in the end, but of course, that extra bit of gold is still there. And it does help out. It was the first real fight that people actually rotated top 4. Darkseer didn't move. We also, of course, had Antimage not moving. Darkseer so far, by the way, I mean, he is doing okay. He's 37-1. He's not able to shut down Toy that much in his farm, but at least he's getting something out of this lane as well. And that will, of course, have bigger impacts. Because if Rattlesnake can get their team fight off, all the disadvantage, like everything that they have now lost maybe in the laning phase, they're not losing that much, but you know, little bits. One team fight can just pull that straight again and actually can put Rattlesnake on top. The question is if they actually get that.
Right. If they get a 5-for-1 trade at some point, then yeah, it's all is forgiven. But up until that point, it's going to generally not be tremendously fun. Johnny trying to get away.
Yeah, he should be able to actually.
I'm somewhat surprised that FTG didn't die for it. I feel he could have, but it's definitely good for the purposes of Elder Titan that he didn't get dived there. He needs to continue leveling.
Word up the high ground from Awake smokes or scouts out the smoke from Zagam and Rabbit, who go towards the middle lane. So that's gonna be Awake aware of what's gonna happen, aware of what's coming for them. And wasted smoke, the Rattlesnake.
Well, it's okay. If they stick around for long enough, it's... I don't know. I mean, definitely a good response from Awake for this. In general, they've been playing quite smart this game. Who are they making mech on? Is it going to be Windrunner? She could go 4-staff too. This is probably a 4-staff actually, so... They'll make mech on their Visage relatively slowly, which will create a window in which Icy has mech and nobody on Awake does.
Yeah, we've got Rattlesnake back on track, or at least now they're in the top lane. Not quite sure if he's going to be in time to do something here, though. I mean, that ward is just so well placed that... Yeah.
No AAL. Without landing the AAL, it's not really any chance. It was actually a funny idea if they hit the AAL and they try to use like Call Down or something, or Earthshaker or ET Stomp. They had Earthshaker back here, so as people walked back with the AA like ult ticking on them, Earthshaker could just land a fissure and probably kill 2. But it didn't work out that way because the first part didn't happen.
Yeah, by the way, Singapore server confirmed, so no issues with the Perfect World server.
Right.
Then, at least. By the way, Visage still doesn't have boots. He does have the money for it right now, which is of course awesome. Will make him very poor if he does go for them already. Well, I say already, but we're 12 minutes in. I guess he probably should want to go for them. I think that the point is with Visage also, I mean, if he gets himself a Grave Shield off, he can just steal the speed from someone else and still walk fairly fast.
He's very, very speedy, although it is a percentage buff. Yeah. So he wants to have a decent base for that to build off of, but that's okay. Fissure thrown down, Call Down will hit 1 hit on Windrunner. There's the AO, like they're trying to combo from long distance, which is
they
not
actually get Windrunner. Windrunner drops fairly low.
He's not gonna die.
He's not gonna be able to be in the fight anymore though. Not that much.
Right. This is clearing space for them to push this tower. They can probably push the tower off of this.
Yeah, Elder Titan walking a bit between top and middle, and now gonna be forced back to top because in comes a TP Fissure. Nicely done before Puck can do anything. Still a Dream Coil up on 2. Rocket Barrage. In comes a Mana Void perhaps if Toy can find a good target. Soul Assumption will clear out Luo. Toy finds Icy with the Mana Void. Icy should be able to get away though. Blink forward, Toy. Not gonna be able to blink far enough. In comes a Burrow Strike, stunning up the Elder Titan as he punches Visage in the face and punches the Sand King in the face. Johnny with a triple kill, gets punched in the face in return by the Windrunner, so that's gonna be another kill for her. And that's gonna be a 4-on-2 trade. Of course, 2 cores died from Rattlesnake, but they killed off cores upon cores for Awake, apart from the Windrunner here in the end. And oh my god, how much damage did he steal with that Ancestral Spirit? Astral Spirit.
Yeah, Ancestral Spirit. What game do you think this is?
Yeah, I don't know.
That was very, very nicely done at the end there by Johnny. He did actually miss the Earth Splitter, but it did its job because it forced people to go back. So you ended up splitting the fight a little bit, pushing it back towards your safe zone, and then the very nice Fissure from Sag as well. Luo is actually in so much trouble.
Nice familiar stuns indeed to set that one up. That's going to be a Gyrocopter down for the 2nd time within a short period of time, so shuts him down quite heavily.
That's a very bad death. He shouldn't... He got super greedy and went for the tower. That was actually a pretty huge mistake from Luo. He needed a little bit more time to just farm and be safe. I mean, that's big for Johnny, though. It gives him pretty much all of a drums from that fight. And he was hitting, actually not like beastly hard, but very hard compared to what you would expect. He was hitting for about 230 on Sand King and Puck, and then about 150 each on Anti-Mage. But like 230 is enough. When Sand King only has 815 health, 2 hits from that will blow you up.
Down the side, Burrow Strike, that's gonna be Sag. Killed off. Epicenter used for that one. Soul Assumption from it hits upon Johnny. In comes the Earth Splitter, and that's gonna be a dead Sand King for sure. The Shatter will happen soon. The punch actually comes first from Icy, and that will take the kill. But 1 for 1, I guess it's a fairly even trade. A Sand King for an Earthshaker. I always compare the two because they have got, like, they both got a big ulti for team fights. They both got a stun. I always think they're kind of the same.
Yeah,
slightly. I mean, of course, there's big differences.
Strength melee supports with teamfight ultimates and stun. I get it.
Yeah.
Earthshaker definitely a lot more disable heavy, sanking a little bit more about dealing that damage and being sneaky and positioning.
Yeah, of course, Blink Burst like epicenters.
Yeah, and ES is a lot less blink dependent, although still pretty blink dependent.
Yeah.
I don't know, I think
Sorry.
the main issue is the difference between Luo and Toy. And Toy, I don't think we mentioned this before, but this is a really well-known player. Like, he's very strong carry player in the scene. Just we haven't seen him that much lately. But regardless, he finishes his Battle Fury 16 minutes. This is actually quite a bit slower than I think he was expecting, and then you would expect from how he's been CSing. That death cost him a lot. He was almost done with it, and then he spent 40 seconds being dead, as well as being pushed 300 gold away from the end of the Battle Fury. So the death definitely cost him. That said, Luo is farming quite poorly because of all the deaths. 278 GPM for the gyro, so they definitely need to put this gyro into shape. The BKB is critical, and then probably damage on top of that.
Yeah, Luo is actually lowest on net worth of all the cores in this game.
Yeah, it's not a good scene.
Nope.
Puck is actually surprisingly low too. Just the Blink Dagger, not even tier 2 boots, but Blink is very good for him, of course.
Will allow him to get a lot more action in if he finds the right openings, which he might try to find on the bottom lane. The ping already comes out from FTG, going for Icy. Icy does have his mechanism. He is level 11, has a level 2 wall, and that might be cause for alarm because we might see Rattlesnake just trying to counter this with a fight. Of course, a tower close to for people to TP to. Do have TPs up on everybody, so who knows? If they try to force something out, if they try to force a fight with Icy, I'm thinking they're gonna try to turn it around.
Yeah, but I don't know if they actually want to defend the tier 1 per se. They may not have the resources to do so, really. Icy, he vacs, but I still don't see it. I think maybe he just goes for a deny eventually, although he has still 4 seconds on Surge.
I was gonna say, like, that's not gonna happen, Toy. It's too hard at this point. So tower goes down. It's the first tower to go down in the game. 17.5 minutes into the game, which is actually pretty long.
It is. Both teams a little bit nervous to push. Rattlesnake because they're behind. Awake because of the potential of Rattlesnake's teamfight lineup. Although they haven't really executed. Even the teamfight they won was mostly Awake over
top lane. Awake has already used his epicenter. Rocket Barrage chased him down. Nice shackle though up on Luo, holding him in place. In comes a vacuum with the Earth Splitter, and that's gonna be a call out. Awake will get picked off. It's the first one to go down. Sand King's still alive though, but I'm not gonna see that one for live very much longer. There we go. Oh, the shackle! Power shot. Icy, Luo locked in position. Icy having a bit more issues with that than Luo. Tower will still get picked off. That's at least something.
That's how you video games. I mean, they take some damage on the tier 2 in exchange for this, but that's exactly the combo they want. And they didn't even use the Echo Slam for that. In fact, Sag might just die here.
Yeah, with the haste rune of FTG.
He's got a fissure.
He's gonna throw it out.
Nice dodge.
Nice dodge. Echo Slam trying to help out, but it doesn't matter. Nice kill for the Puck.
Actually, the Visage Familiar helped a lot there. Without the Familiar, he maybe can at least put off the his additional stun, the melee stun. That was it called. What's wrong with me? Oh, he doesn't have it trained. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Oh,
Luo. Dead. Ooh, nice wand.
Run! Blink. Hit. Toy with the kill.
Chance.
Nicely done.
Another very bad death. He keeps getting caught out. They don't have good vision. In fact, Rattlesnakes, I don't know. I don't feel like they're quite pulling it together. I like the lineup, but they got it once, the actual ult combo. One fight they only won because people dived on ET with a ton of stacks of Spirit.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't think it's quite there yet. It'll take a little more practice to really make this lineup gel. I mean, Toy is at 14. They haven't really created the fights to actually win with their combo.
Yeah, Toy at 14. The highest level up on
Three levels ahead
is,
of
yeah, it's level 11, and I mean the gyrocopter is even still level 10. It's pretty painful. Yashin also up on the anti-mage. He's gonna be ready to fight very soon.
I mean, he's already fighting. He has no compunction against just coming out and slapping people in the face. So the AL probably doesn't hit, yeah. Wow, I can't believe that fissure didn't land.
Slightly too early with the face shift.
That or just off the mark.
The Nyan Tower, at least, that's gonna be something. In comes the smoke as well. I mean, if indeed Awake has got an anti-mage that's ready to fight, the question will be if they are actually gonna try to fight or if they're gonna try to split push, because Rattlesnake, regardless of them being behind, and they're now actually 3k gold behind, they still have this wombo combo teamfight lineup that you still don't really want to face. Call down. Yeah, that's gonna be a very sad. Sand King tries to hide, tries to dodge, but gets killed off by the Elder Titan Spirit anyways.
Yeah, Spirit is always just gonna walk over you, probably.
Yep.
I mean, it's just a Sand King kill plus a tower. It's good. It's not the most consequential thing in the world. What is kind of cool, what I do like, is this Shadow Blade that's being built on Tauren Chieftain, on Elder Titan.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Well, he almost has it complete as well, actually.
I can dig it. I can definitely dig this build. Shadow Blade's a cool item. He can definitely get in position with it. He can even stomp and have his stomp be invisible, right? So
yeah. Sagam getting chased by Visage Familiar. Just chased away. I mean, the tier 1 tower on the top lane went down as well, on the side of Rattlesnake at the same time as the tier 1 mid went down. So there's still one tower in favor of Awake. Right now there's actually one kill in favor of Rattlesnake, so that's quite decent. I'm kind of hoping that they'll just try to group up at some point and just try to 5-man push this out, because late game, I'm not sure if they, especially not the way things are going right now, if they can actually have the gyrocopter, you know, out-carry the anti-mage. I don't think that's possible with the way this is going. The rate this is going.
Since he is going Manta, well, no. If Darkseer does well, which he so far has at least has been farming, big fight in the mid.
Yeah, Mechanism tries to help out. Oh my god, that's your combination that you want to see. Double kill for the Earthshaker and Age Separation with the kill on the puck. I mean, that was AA ult, Echo Slam, Earth Splitter. That was everything.
Well, the Earth Splitter was completely superfluous, actually. Like that shows you that when they land their combo, they actually have more damage than they need.
If everything
the Earth
hits.
Splitter hit. Actually, the Earth Splitter and the Wall were both superfluous. They should probably pick which ones they want to use. But that was really good. The positioning was good. Awake were clumped, ready to get ready for the taking, and that actually finishes both BKB and Shadowblade, and I think Roche as well. So it's a very critical win for Rattlesnake. Late game, I mean, Darkseer Aghanims could make a difference, but
yeah, that fight, of course, started by Awake trying to initiate on an Earthshaker. But Earthshaker, I mean, he was just fine after the mech heal coming off from his teammate. Who has the mech anyway? Darkseer, of course. He was there. Darkseer also has a blink to get into position real fast now. So, and they gave up Roshan. The Familiar is actually scaring them away slightly.
It's too scary.
Yeah.
They didn't quite have enough time to do it. I actually really agree with this decision. Toy, oh my goodness.
Yeah, vacuum back, has to blink, pops his mechanism, in comes a cold feet perhaps, Dream Coil blinking in from on 3, BKB turned on by Luo. In comes a stomp, doesn't really hit anybody actually.
Also BKB used for almost nothing on the gyrocopter, unfortunately.
10-second BKB that was.
Exactly. Actually, that entire fight is just so. People might think like, okay, Anti-Mage is farming really well, but he hasn't really done that much. What's the upshot? Well, the upshot there is that fight goes Rattlesnake's way. Here's the Shadow Blade, by the way, from the ET. Oh no!
Puck actually jumps himself in. Sag in a lot of trouble, still gets killed off. Epicenter being used for that one. Soul Assumption, Johnny tries to go here, goes for a Earth Splitter here, gets harassed away by Toy, who gets a cold feet. Mana Leak, Mana Void doesn't work right now. Tries to run from it. And this is going to be everybody of Awake backing off. It's a 1-for-1 trade. Puck going down for an Earthshaker. Successful trade for Rattlesnake.
Yeah, an okay trade. If they just had the Earth Splitter rather than having used it to no effect previously, It's a tough position for them. They have to, in every fight, land all their combos. And by the way, sorry, just to finish the thought, the fact that Anti-Mage has farmed as well as he has meant that he had Manta Style instead of not having Manta Style during that fight. And Manta Style saved him twice because, especially the first fight, when he got cold feeted and fissured, he managed to just Manta off the cold feet, and he was still in range. He would have had it proc on him if he hadn't had the Manta. So Manta Style has already saved him. It's already making a big impact. It'll be useful for pushing. They're going to pay for the fact that they didn't do anything about Toy early.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm waiting for the moment where he is going to be picking up his treads instead of Tranquil Boots. I don't like to see Tranquil Boots on an anti-mage.
AM was a really legit pick, honestly.
Yeah, oh definitely was.
I actually feel that they probably should have... Oh man, he stole their ancient stack. That's so bad for Gyro. Did you see how cleverly he did that too? He walked in from here, cut
a tree.
And then, of course, Dire Ancient Camp is really cool as anti-mage, because right from here you can blink all the way across, and you're safe. At no point do you have to enter the river. It's not the same thing on Radiant. I mean, Radiant, you can blink from this area, but that's kind of useless. Well, it's not useless, but it's less useful.
Yeah, it's not your part of the map if you're Dire. Like, basically from Radiant you can blink to Dire Ancients, but from Dire you cannot blink to Radiant Ancients.
I think they saw them walk over the sentry while smoked.
I
So
don't
the
see
best
any
they can
picks
hope
coming
for
out.
here is a tier 1.
Well, so
Yeah,
far
but they could be
nobody's-
talking on voice chat.
Yeah, nobody is coming bottom regardless to try and do anything,
Exactly.
so they're just gonna give it up. No me then.
I mean, you're right, even if they didn't see, they see that 4 people aren't on the map.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
I don't know. Luo going for Helm of the Dominator, but he doesn't even know yet that his ancient stack has been pilfered by a greedy little anti-mage who stole the ancients from the ancient jar. I think they should have banned AM instead of Spectre. I think I actually might have said that. Sorry, it's early.
I have to say I can't remember. It is.
Well, regardless, the 5th ban
not early
was
for me, so I don't really have an excuse. Damn.
They finished Blink on Sag, which is good, although Blink on ES here is important, but not overwhelmingly important, since they do have some alternatives like Stomp to start out with, but they'll be happy to use the Stomp second rather than first, frankly. And it looks like he's going to BKB also.
I mean, they have a lot of initiation, because not just the blink from the Earthshake, also the blink from the Darkseer, and indeed the Astral Spirit helps out a lot. Cooldown, slow
Even a
everybody
long-range
down.
Splitter.
Yeah. Even Split Earth can help, or...
It's really hard to rush against this team, by the way, so like, Awake, even if they have a big AM who's carrying Vlad's or what have you, is not going to have the easiest time penetrating the Roche pit simply because, you know, throw a Splitter down in there, throw an AAL, you can even use the AAL to scout it. But AM, I mean, he's farming so well. He's 15,000 net worth. He has almost double the net worth of Luo. BKB now added onto him. That's a huge deal against a huge Wombo composition group. Wombo combo group. Heyo. Except for the fact that he might...
Troy, what you doing? He has a BKB turned on, he knew that he was still safe, blinks himself away. Zac, though, with the Blink Dagger up again in a second, might try to chase it. Nope, they give up. So they just threw quite a lot on there. Echo Slam, Darkseer, Wall, A ult, of course, which is very short cooldown, but they didn't get a kill.
Yeah, actually, the slam is the huge deal there. The wall is a pretty big deal too, but the slam is a huge deal. Again, they're paying. Just imagine that this was a carry who's less proficient at last hitting and taking free farm and getting items on time than Toy, right? Like, if this is a mediocre carry, Rattlesnake could easily be winning, and they would certainly have won that fight. But because he has the BKB, he walks away unscathed from a fight in which 3 ultimates are used solely on him.
Yeah, we have got him sitting at almost, well, over 200 gold per minute higher than the second highest, which is Luo on his gyrocopter, which is nice. But, I mean, the gold in terms of net worth, he is so far ahead. He is just sitting at 1600 gold, while the second highest, like, even disregarding who it is, which is Elder Titan, so not even Gyro, is sitting at 9.6. There is almost 7k gold difference between those two. That's insane.
It really is. It's a tremendous deficiency currently for Rattlesnake. Now, if they do catch a stun chain and they use every single spell, maybe they can bring the anti-mage down as well as the rest of the team if they happen to be nearby. But this split up, continuing to farm up, this right now is favoring Awake dramatically, and anti-mage is going to become a very credible split pushing threat as well.
Yeah,
Luo finally gets a stack though, at least.
What do you think the Rattlesnake should do to try and break this? Because, I mean, it's very tough to stop the split
Levels.
push. I mean, levels?
Yeah, I agree with you. It's hard to stop it. They do have some nice factors, which is that everybody except Ancient Apparition clears a wave quite quickly. So, not the easiest time against anti-mage illusions, but at least you can clear out the creeps and then deal with the illusions separately. So, they have some time. I worry about the fact that Earthshaker doesn't even have level 2 Echo Slam, and Ancient App doesn't have level 2 Frost Blast, or whatever it's called, Ice Blast. So I think those two things need to be remedied. It would be nice to get Elder Titan as level 3 ultimate as well. After that, I don't know, 5-push Death Ball. AM isn't quite able to counter Rax you just yet, especially if you push bot, so try to take some outer towers, Rax them before AM counter Raxes you.
Yeah, he's able to wrest Elder Titan away, at least from Elder Titan's own jungle.
Yeah. With a good combo, they can 4v5 probably, or they can 4v4, so they can send one person back, probably, I don't know,
Apparition.
Elder Titan. Or Ancient App, yeah.
I mean, he can send us also from a distance.
That's true, absolutely.
Oh, and they're actually gonna go Echo Slam already used. They really want to go for the puck. Well, that's a nice combination.
Yep.
I just don't have time to cast that. That's a bit of a shame, but it's like everything. Like, it's say, okay, you know what? We're gonna go on the puck, and then AA leads in, and before the AA ult hits, everybody just jumps in with the blink daggers and with everything they have.
And the reason that's worth using Echo Slam for is if you can take a rush off the back of it, which they clearly feel like they can in the absence of the puck. The Aegis for Gyro, sure Gyro's way behind Anti-Mage, but 2 Gyros can maybe duel with them. Problem is they're still worried, and the Visage Familiars are still giving them hellish amounts of trouble.
Yeah, Toy actually around here as well, so if this leads into a fight, I mean, they might not have the puck.
Gotta kill these Familiars. It's tough. Visage Familiars are so incredibly annoying. I do think this hero is going to receive some changes.
Oh, nice power shot.
Too low.
Yeah.
They don't feel comfortable anymore. They have mech, but they don't want to use mech and then not have it. And Puck is back up, which is the whole point of them going to Roche. Really nice. One of the many annoying things about Visage is he can do that. He can just use his familiars and waste like a minute of your time while trying to kill Roche by just walking in, walking out, stunning, walking in, stunning, doing a little damage, walking out, walking in. And he is under no... Like, it puts him at 0 risk to do so. Like, at worst, he gives you 100 gold.
Yeah, it is pretty insane. On the other side, Awake is also not going to go for Roshan, as you already pointed out earlier. I mean, you just don't want to fight Roshan up against this team until you can, or until Anti-Mage can solo it.
Right, which after Heart, he'll actually be able to do. It's a lot harder as Anti-Mage on Radiant, simply because you can't just walk here where there's not going to be a ward and blink down into the pit and kill him, but I guess he actually can. He just has to be really clever about how he does it. Blink from here to here, walk over here, while the Mission Impossible music plays, and then blink into the pit. But if AA just ults the pit, because he's like, hey, no anti-mage, let's ult the pit, then they're like, oh, right.
Yeah, he has to be able to do it fast. That's for sure.
Bekabe for the Elder Titan. I don't think this really changes anything, but he is becoming pretty big.
I'm just thinking, right? Because now Awake is starting to get in favor for this game, for sure. They are 4k gold ahead, which is still not that much, especially not if you're considering that, I mean, of those 4k gold, that they are actually in favor of Rattlesnake, there is 6k and more inside the anti-mage, so, you know, that's already an important fact. 4k experience ahead, but assuming Awake, you know, they continue to assert this control that they have right now, they're able to split push, they take out all the outer towers, they take at some point maybe Lucky Roshan, and then it is time to try and go high ground, or to try and, or maybe split push to high ground. But every single hero of Rattlesnake, you've got your Fisher, you've got the Ice Blast, you've got the Astral Spirit, you've got Iron Shells, Flag Cannons, Cooldowns. How on earth is Awake gonna go high ground?
If they have Anti-Mage Aegis, I actually think they could just take it. Like, sure, if you trade like 2 for 4, but then your Anti-Mage comes back up and takes the other 3, you just sort of win. The problem is Aegis is extremely scary to take. They finally add Blink on the Sand King. I think this gives them a lot. Oh.
Yeah, they fight the Anti-Mage. In comes the combo wombo style. Is it in time? The BKB turn on. The cooldown misses. And indeed, Awake saving the day with blinking in and silencing everybody in range.
You keep calling their players Awake.
Did I really say that?
You've done it like 20 times.
FTG jumping in! Whatever. It's because of the AMGD.
It is. It absolutely is. Armageddon, we're sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. They're a great sponsor. They sponsor a lot of teams in the Southeast Asian scene. It's really
and they have their own tournament as well. Whoa, Anti-Mage, what you doing there?
Oh,
like Dream Girl, I see what you're doing there. Oh, Manifold joining, you're standing at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, Puck has had a pretty huge last couple of plays, actually. That winning rift saved Anti-Mage completely because it interrupted the Echo Stomp in the middle of its cast. And actually, I think that probably is Roshan, because I'm surprised they're not buying back and trying to contest it, frankly, but they're running out of time to do so. Yeah, that's a late buyback.
Very
really
late buyback. The TP's come in though, but this Roche will drop, so there will be an Aegis for the next fight. Anti-Mage already has it. In comes a Fisher, gonna be too late, but they might still want to try to fight. No, they back off from the back. Did they get the memo? Nope, they did not. Well, no, they did. Thank you.
Fairly severe error. The buyback ends up doing next to nothing, and now Toy does have that Aegis, on top of the fact that he finished Heart. He's just going to probably deliver it to himself in a moment, because there's no reason to hold buyback here, really. So, yeah, Rattlesnake, they really tried to get that gank off. They came very, very close. Unfortunately, Puck ruined it completely with a great Waiting Rift, and now they face a pretty grim scenario.
Yep. Aegis on Awake, and you know, it is also kind of like from a spectator point of view, you kind of know like, okay, you know what, Awake is not going to do anything for a while because they want to maybe split push this to victory, because they still don't want to take that team fight from Rattlesnake because it's still really scary, so split pushing is going to be their way of dealing with it. There's still tier 2 towers up, and yes, slowly but steadily they will go down, but this actually looks like this might be a game that will still last for another 30 more minutes, if not more. Wow.
Unfortunately, despite the coolness of the team composition, this is going to be grindy no matter what. Simply because, you have to play conservatively as Awake, no matter basically how big of a lead you have. And Rattlesnake really don't have any choices at this point, so...
Yeah, they're going to try the same thing on Toy again. Let's see if there's a puck close by. BKB already turned on, though. That's going to be Toy not being caught out. No stop there to set things up. No Fisher either to set things up. Oh, Rabbit, you can't be there! Mana Void actually doesn't work, but that doesn't matter. One more hit will do the job. Toy getting stunned up. But he blinks away. No more BKB, of course. It maybe was their window of opening, but they couldn't get it done. And I mean, how fast did Ancient Deprivation die there? He really does not have any surviving items, apart from maybe, if you can call a Magic Wand surviving items? No.
Right.
Maybe we're seeing from go down.
Am I crazy? Or is he getting de-stealthed when he starts the Echo Stomp?
I think it was just good reply.
Oh,
Sagam, you're dead! Where are you? Yeah, you're dead. Darkseer Roll still goes down. There is actually an Anti-Mage copy, which is pretty important, but Familiars are making sure that nobody else is doing anything important.
To be fair, ES was completely out of mana. He had almost nothing he could actually do there. It shouldn't de-stealth you. That's literally the entire point of Echo Stomp on Elder Titan. But it just felt like either he got de-stealthed there, or he chose to move, or Anti-Mage sort of sussed out that he was there and it used BKB preemptively. I don't know.
There we go again. In comes a Stomp. Anti-Mage getting stunned up. Still has his BKB, or has his BKB again, I should say. Cold Feet there as well. Is able to blink away this time. But that's already half the tier 3 tower dead. I guess indeed that's the way that they're gonna go high ground. Just send Anti-Mage in. Why not?
Do some damage, come down. Yeah, definitely.
Manta style and Lucian's helping out.
And this BKB for Elder Titan is done. Like, he hasn't even used it, and he got it ages ago. I wonder if there wasn't a somewhat more impactful item.
Fisher, Rocket Barrage, Toy, blinks away. Surprise! His stomp coming out too slow. And
well, it's really tough. It takes ages. It's one of the longest cast time abilities in the game. 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot. Big warning, indeed. We are gonna have, I mean, the tower, it's already down to 450 HP. Anti-Mage, in 7 seconds, they're gonna go again, because then he has got another meta style, so next creep wave then, probably. But that's probably gonna be tower.
At some point, the tower will go down, unquestionably. They have to commit a little more to go for the backs, but not that much more. So they know that they can play safe. There's no reason for them to leave until the Aegis is up.
Was close. Cigar.
Stomp is the spirit is trying mightily to nab somebody, but it's just not happening, honestly.
You know,
at this point, Rattlesnake, you can say that their lineup has basically failed in its mission, and they can win the game. It's not impossible, but it'll have to be through some mistakes on Awake's part to just stand in the wrong position or what have you.
that spirit, if he goes for the stump, they actually should add a sound file. Wait a second, BKB pop, the tower still goes down. Toy goes for Luo. Luo gets Hex as well, but Toy actually blinks himself away. Toy actually
they got to use BKB. It's down to 6 seconds.
Yeah. But I was going to say that the Astral Spirit, those 1.4 seconds, is exactly enough to say, "You shall not pass," and then stomp your feet down.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's a good point. Maybe that's what they based it off of.
Look at it go, look at it go. If it's gonna try to go for a stomp, you'll know exactly what I mean.
I will.
Oh damn.
I didn't do it. No real point. Doesn't want to waste the mana.
Yep. Well, Rattlesnake losing their tier 3, able to maybe, you know, delay the push a little bit by again forcing out that BKB from the Antimates. And as you said, going barracks might be a little bit harder, even though Toy goes in again. In comes the stomp. They actually get Toy, but they does also take some damage. Here comes a Fisher. There is still the cold feet. Can they actually get something going here? No, they can't. Well, they get the Aegis. Okay, they get the Aegis. But he's able to blink away afterwards.
That is an extremely malevolent laugh coming out from that AM.
Yeah. Well, here comes the cold feet again, a stomp again. Cold feet are gonna proc. Can they get him down this time? I think they might. There is a Hex up on Luo though. Anti-Mage does drop. The Rex go down as well, but perhaps this is what Rattlesnake needed. The BKB gets turned on by Johnny and he is looking for blood, but everybody of Awake already scatters. Puck on the bottom lane. Yeah. Awake going towards the top lane and the others towards the Ancients, and it's Delta split all around. And yeah.
All he gets is a familiar from that BKB charge. This ET BKB has done absolutely nothing. Well, they killed Anti-Mage. They have 5 more barracks, so at the price of 1 barracks per Anti-Mage kill, they have 5 Anti-Mage kills left in this game. Can they win if they kill Anti-Mage 5 more times? Yes, I think so, but they had to go to a lot of effort just to get it that time, so I'm not sure. Keep in mind, Windrunner is actually doing pretty well now. Mech, Force Staff, Scythe of Ice.
Yeah.
And Puck is now a legitimate threat as well with Travels, Scythe of Ice, so...
Yeah, that's 2 hexes putting Luo out of play basically completely, as we do have a hex up on Icy here just to help everybody getting away.
He's gonna need Ags probably pretty soon though. Probably after...
Oh, Fisher too early. Can they get another stun in? Nope. Not just yet. Not just yet. FTG looking for a way out, blinks himself out, TP's home.
Yeah. The vacuum these days has a cooldown of roughly a year too, so there's no chance of Icy just vacuum again.
Roughly a year.
I believe that's what the patch note said. I haven't checked it.
Okay. Okay, I just thought of something else. Because you keep calling Elder Titan ET, and I can't help but, you know, separating that from ET Phone Home.
Yeah.
And then I thought about the
that's
spirit.
not intentional.
And I just, I mean, what else can a spirit say apart from "You shall not pass"? If he flies back towards his target, ET Phone Home.
That's true. He should have both the "You shall not pass" when he stomps and the ET Phone Home when he calls the spirit back. I agree with you completely.
Yeah.
I think that's an excellent idea. Elder Titan has a ton of money again, by the way. So
yeah,
for what it's worth,
quite rich.
If they get like 1,000 or so Scythes of Ice, that'll be useful against Anti-Mage. The issue is, yeah, like Awake have some other credible threats besides the AM now. 4k gold on Puck. Wow, that's a lot of gold on Puck. I didn't even think about that until I just saw it.
Yeah, and I actually think that the Scythe of Ice that Darkseer just picked up, that might actually be a big impact. Because then you will force Anti-Mage to pop his BKB.
I agree. The combo is still... The combo will never go out of fashion. I mean, they can do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Luo is quietly building up his nest egg as well. He finished Butterfly a pretty long time ago. Now he has Satanic as well. Not to the point where he can duel Anti-Mage just yet, but he's in the ballpark, and he can certainly slaughter people in the backcourt.
Yeah. By the way, looking at current gold, Anti-Mage is also... Like, he's the richest of them all. But everybody of Awake is actually quite rich in gold. The rest of Rattlesnake already bought out just now. I mean, we have Darkseer with only 38 gold. Like, seriously, that's not that much.
Not a lot of gold, I agree, but he just bought out for site device.
Yeah.
And the thing is that Awake don't have to buy out, and they can hold buybacks if they want. Rattlesnake are essentially mandated to buy out when possible, because they're so far behind on items. Like, they have just a critical item deficiency that they need to make up to have a chance in the fights. Like, it's better, for instance, for your Darkseer to have Scythe than for him to have buybacks, because 2 no-Scythe Darkseers are less worthwhile than 1 Darkseer with Scythe here. That said, I really want somebody at Rattlesnake to make Veil for this combo. Where's the Veil, Obama?
Where's the Veil? That's a good question. I mean, I think still if they get everything off properly, they can still make a team fight happen and win that team fight. With the Veil would be, of course, more successful. Oh, blink in. Sagam already axed up. And no Fissure, no Echo Slam. That's going to be a team fight. Not that successful for Rattlesnake. They still try to go for it though, but Icy actually goes down as well by the epicenter of the Sand King. Luo standing here with his BKB trying to hit things, and actually the familiars go down. That's nice. And there goes the Visage as well. Maybe Rabbit will be able to make something happen here. Toy very low, but it is again it is Rattlesnake to die. Elder Titan makes himself out. Triple kill for Toy. They only got the Visage. They came close again, but they needed that Earthshaker to be alive throughout the fight, or at least throw out his spells before he dies.
Yes, the positioning was very weak from Rattlesnake. The vision was also too weak for what they were trying to do. Words are a limited resource when you're as starved as they are, and they're kind of a limited resources in general. Like, they're out of wards right now, right? So why the hell are half their wards in places where they are simply not going to travel in this game, right? How... This is really confident to put wards here when you're tremendously behind in a game.
Yep.
So, if they had a ward in this area, maybe they could have seen the gank coming in on Earthshaker before it happened. You're up against a team whose repositioning is amazing. They have Blink on Sand King, Force Staff, Phase Boots on Windrunner, Blink on Puck, and Anti-Mage has a Blink just baked into the hero. So, you can't be standing apart, you can't be having your Earthshaker, who's your flimsiest hero, in a position where you can get picked off that easily. All of your ults need to land on the same location, which means you want to have everybody outside that location jamming their spells into it, and they didn't position themselves in a way to make that happen.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm kind of baffled by those words. It really makes you think, like, Rattlesnake, we're expecting to be there by this point. We're expecting to win team fights by that point.
Sure, but how? I just don't know, like, what the wargaming is that you deduce that, well, probably in 3 to 4 minutes we'll make the death push. I don't know. I don't see it.
In the meantime, Toy still almost 10k gold higher than Gyrocopter, but he also has 10k gold in his inventory.
Right. So he's only 2k in terms of actual item equity. Luo is big, I mean, let's not discount that. Again, the positioning was so bad that he used Satanic, and he was hitting 2 heroes and a familiar with it. So he ran out of health, like, he didn't regen himself to full with the activation of the Satanic, and he had to walk away, and was caught on his egress.
Yeah, that cost him a Rex, just that one fight. The way the next fight's gonna go, if it's actually gonna be a normal 5-on-5 fight where you would expect Awake to try and go high ground, just the way that they have been doing on the mid lane as well, I think that a Rattlesnake will have a way bigger chance, because then they can actually put that Hex into good use, put their combinations to good use, have the Earthshaker throw out the Fissure there in a fight as well. And let's see if they can make something happen. Flak Cannon, try to force him back. Oh, can they go for the Anti-Mage? No, nice Shackle coming in on
Nice
Luo
shackle.
and Icy.
Earth Splitter misses.
Yeah, completely whiffs.
I just did the you shall not pass thing in my head.
Told
It
you!
works.
Told you!
Confirmed.
Oh, Hex up on Toy! Gets forced up in safety, but the Echo Slam Vacuum cooldown is still here! And it will be the Visage that died! Toy still alive in this! But actually, his Aegis will be the only thing that will bring him back. Mana Voice, Darkseer still gets him down. He has to blink away, he has to run away, gets himself towards the mid lane and runs. And that was a team fight that started out so much better than Rattlesnake had that other fight going. They do force Awake away. They kill off the 2 supports. They take away the Aegis from the Anti-Mage. They still lose their tier 3 tower though, and they're still kind of getting pushed here on the top lane. Even if only by a Windrunner and a Puck. And then also
Right.
Visage again that bought back.
at this point, with 2 lanes pushed in, they're getting tremendously pressured, basically from all sides. That was a good defense. They, of course, did land most of the combo effectively, and it's just a matter of that isn't quite enough to kill everybody anymore, especially when you're down the Aegis. So, if Anti-Mage just goes on the ground and spends, especially if he spends a buyback, that's a huge ray of hope. Like, if you kill Anti-Mage twice, and he doesn't buy back, you actually have a lot of room to operate, but otherwise it's still very difficult. Tier 3 Necronomicon, by the way, could just end up hitting Luo really hard. Yeah.
We're gonna see
There
still
go the Rex.
the Rex indeed. I mean, there's really no hope for this. In comes a ulti steal, but the beacon be turned on. Luo will be getting picked off. Toy with a kill, goes for the Rex, doesn't care about heroes, wants the Mega Creeps, gets hacks though, gets vacuumed as well. In comes the Earth Splitter, kills off the Visage. Windrunner also going down. Nice Dreamcoat coming up from the Puck though, but Anti-Mage still ends up going down, and oh my god, also the Rex going down. Puck MVP will be getting away here, jumps himself away indeed. But he is the last one in the base, and I mean, even if he dies, it's going to be worth getting Mega Creeps for. That would be game. Unless Rattlesnake win another big team. But I mean, they killed the Anti-Mage, but they just needed this fight way earlier.
For sure. They needed, I mean, even better than this fight. They needed very convincing fights all the way through, and there was maybe one fight in which they truly dominated them.
Yeah.
There was very few fights in which they were very, very convincing. Some ganks were good, but even then, Anti-Mage just got too big too fast. Really well played to Toy. I don't think that Rattlesnakes have any shot. There's no real reason to concede, but I don't really see them winning. I do think Elder Titan finished his Assault Cross. It's actually quite useful for gyrocopter damage. But they're just kind of sitting in their base. Usually when you face Mega Creeps, you want to be immediately doing your final Death Ball sacrificial push. Yeah.
There we go.
There's no point, honestly. Rattlesnakes, it's going to take some practice, obviously, for their new roster, but currently it looks like the departure of Cabo and Lanham is hurting exactly as much as you'd imagine the departure of 2 of your most talented members to be, which is hard.
Yeah. And of course, getting into shape with 2 new players always takes some time and practice, so it's not that Rattlesnake is totally off the map in competitive Dota, but they'll need some time to practice.
I agree with you completely, and RGN is actually a good place to practice, just because it's, you know, it's not as high stakes. They are going into the WPC season, so the new season of Ace, pretty soon. And if they want to do well there, they need to get as much professional level practice as they can.
Yeah. We're going to jump ourselves to another game, though. It will be another RS, but this time it's going to be Rising Stars. They'll be up against Impervious, and that will be our last Rapture Gaming League game of today before we jump ourselves to Star Series. But we're going to see Impervious taking on Rising Stars, so stick around. We'll be having another game of Dota 2 here very soon.